Episode 3. The day everything changed. Sophie sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, reviewing job listings for the third time that day. It had been weeks since she lost her job, and the initial shock had worn off. Now she felt a mix of frustration and uncertainty. The job search was harder than she expected. Despite sending out countless applications, she had received only a few responses, most of them rejections. Sophie knew that finding the right job would take time, but part of her wondered if she was aiming too high or being too picky. Should she settle for a job that didn't excite her, just to get back into work? Or should she keep waiting for something that felt right? The constant self-questioning was exhausting. To distract herself, Sophie decided to go for a walk. She put on her coat and stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air. The neighborhood park was quiet, and Sophie walked slowly. However, her mind kept going over the job search. She thought about the projects she had loved working on in the past, the creative freedom she used to enjoy, and how much she missed feeling inspired by her work. Maybe this was an opportunity to take a new direction, she thought. But what direction should that be? When she returned home, Sophie made herself a cup of tea and sat down at her desk. As she moved her notebook aside, she noticed the leather-bound journal she had found in the dusty box a few weeks ago. She picked it up, flipped through the empty pages again, and smiled. It had been a long time since she thought about writing in it, but now the blank pages seemed to represent possibility rather than regret. Feeling a bit more hopeful, Sophie picked up her phone and called an old colleague. They had worked together years ago, and she remembered how much she admired his career shift into digital marketing. Maybe a conversation with him would give her some ideas. They chatted for a while, and her colleague offered to introduce her to someone in his network who might be able to help. By the end of the day, Sophie felt a small sense of accomplishment. She hadn't solved everything, but she had made progress. She had taken control of her situation and started to consider new possibilities. It wasn't an easy journey, but Sophie was learning to adapt. Little by little, she was picking up the pieces of her life. As she put the journal back on the desk, she wondered what she might write in it one day. Perhaps her story wasn't over. It was just beginning.